You are overburdened.
Let me preface this by saying that if a stack of trash were to play this game, it would be better at it than me. This game is a mixture of Age of Empires 2 and Dark Souls, and I am garbage at both of them. It takes skill to be this bad, what can I say? And listen, I really like this game. I really do. But I cannot take credit for me finding out about it. I am a huge fan of Bricky, the YouTuber, and whatever videos he makes that don't have anything to do with Warhammer, I'm usually watching them. And he has at this point now made 2 videos on Frostpunk. And I got halfway through the first one and I was like, you know what? I don't want to know how the game ends. I'm gonna buy it right now. Let me go play it. So I did, and I fell in love with it immediately. And I think that's because it had the 3 P's: premise, presentation, and Poland, with the added bonus of making British children work in the coal mines. That's always a chef's kiss, nice touch. Okay, vagueness aside, what is Frostpunk? It is a survival city builder. So think a Sim City, but roguelike. Sprinkle in a little bit of depression and you got yourself Frostpunk, a wonderful little shit omelet. But to start it off, let's talk about the premise of the game. What is the story? Why are we here?
Oh man, you've been seeing sus lately.
The year is late 1800s. I don't know and I don't care to look it up. You are basically a child YouTuber. You have a bunch of people who will follow you blindly. You're like, yo, we're not gonna survive here. Let's just walk into the snow or ride a train or whatever it is that they used in the game. But all hope is lost until you find this generator. This generator that's just sitting here. It's just not being used, but presumably it came from a city that was once there before. Suddenly, hope rises. Your people have something to look forward to, but first, you gotta sign some laws and you gotta put these people to work. You send some people off to go gather some coal to get the generator going. You send some people to build houses for themselves. You send some people over to trees to get wood. These are all the different resources in the game. Now that we're moving into the gameplay a little bit, there are 2 bars at the bottom of your screen called hope and discontent. This is where you and the child YouTubers disconnect, because if you don't make your people happy, they will kick you out.
Well, tell me, Colonel, what the fuck do these people want from me?
Not in a nice way either. You're gonna be exiled to try to survive on your own, and you will presumably die, but that's the end of the game when you get exiled. Or they'll string you up in front of the whole town and then steam you to death. Okay, you learn the game systems, you're doing fine, you learn how to keep people happy. What's the difficulty in the game? It is the fact that it's gonna get colder. It's gonna keep getting colder, it's gonna go back. Then it's gonna get even colder than it was before, maybe go up to that initial cold. Like, it's frustrating, but in a good way. But that's okay. I mean, you can defend against it and you can work with it. Until for some unknown reason, something goes terribly wrong. Something happens that completely nukes your people's hope, and you suddenly have to make a choice. Are you gonna give your people hope through faith and spiritual strength, or are you gonna give them hope through order and discipline? Depending on what you choose, you could be putting watchtowers in the neighborhood to make people feel safe, or prayer houses in the neighborhood that they can go to and pray on their free time. Okay, you've chosen a path. Now, what is there? It's just gonna keep getting colder? Okay, that's fine. Right, but wrong. It's gonna get really cold. We're talking the Great Frost. It's the end of the game. If you can make it through the Great Frost without your people exiling you, you win the game. Which is cool, but what's even cooler is that there's multiple endings to the game. Depending on how happy you kept your people, what side of the hope coin did you choose? The government or the religion? I'm not gonna spoil any endings here, but go ahead and play it and tell me what you get. Premise and gameplay aside, let's talk about the presentation, because this game actually belongs in a goddamn museum.
So it's like we have an imposter among us. I saw that you want to lie to me, wall. You sussy bata.
The game looks gorgeous. I'm not even playing with you. Just watching the intro cutscene that explains the story, I got like super emotional the first time I watched it for a few different reasons. The music, the way it looked, how impactful the narrator was. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know who that narrator is, but he killed it.
We bid farewell to plenty, and for those who remained, came the time to adapt. We decided to leave our homes and head north.
Lingering on the sound a little bit because I think that's what really stands out here, because you don't need a city builder to be super pretty visually. This game is, but you don't need it, you know? But I think sound design does a lot for this specific genre. So do me a favor, imagine what you think an iceberg being cracked down the middle would sound like. We're talking like cracked down the middle, about to fall apart. It's a good clean seam through the middle. That sound is what happens whenever a pop-up on the screen. Whenever there's something that happens in your city, somebody gets mugged, there's a tagging somewhere on one of your buildings, that is the sound that's gonna play, alongside the amazing visual of like ink blots or watercolor coming from the center of the screen spreading out.
Work time. Get moving.
They nailed the presentation in this game. It's like they knew that city builders don't need to be super pretty, but everything menu-wise, absolutely gorgeous. But one of the pillars of good sound design is music. I'm sorry. I had to get this soundtrack because I think this game is going to be pretty important to me in the long run, just because it came at a very transitional time in my life, and the music just kind of fits it to a T. It's a great soundtrack, not only for this game, but for fighting, for doing your best. When you know you're stressed and you have this on in the background, it makes you feel like you can finish, you know? Very meticulously created, because this game makes you feel like you're always 3 steps behind. But the music is kind of there to tell you, hey, you can do it, you can get through it. It's very empowering. And this is kind of when I would move into the characters of a game, but there's one character and it's you. You can be a good guy or bad guy. You can sign a law immediately to open health wards or medical bays or something, or send the fucking kids to work. Sorry, Timmy, it's Monday. It's time for you to go work in the coal mines. I think that's it for me. That's it for the video. Seriously, guys, go play this game. And 11-Bit Studios, I think you guys absolutely outdid yourselves. I know I'm behind by like a lot because this came out in 2018, but I just picked it up recently, about a month ago, and I cannot thank you enough for making this game. Poitier Musel, however you pronounce your name, I butchered it. I'm sorry. You outdid yourself with that soundtrack as well. And thanks for tweeting at me the link to buy it, because I was looking for it. But anyway, guys, remember, live for a check, live for a person, live for a faith. Just don't forget to live. I'll catch you in the next one.